All righty. Thank you guys so much for coming out to my panel today, talking about YouTube. Right now, you could be getting your picture taken with Elijah Wood and Sean Astin at the same time, which my kids are very disappointed in me that I didn't skip out on my own panel to do that because they recently discovered, not Lord of the Rings, but Stranger Things, and Sean Astin is in that as Bob the hero in the second season. And you can see my daughter is so pumped about Stranger Things. She's dressed as 11. So they are disappointed they have to watch this Sean and not get a picture taken with that Sean right now. So I thank you so much that you chose also to come here. You could also be at the Superman and Lois Q&A panel that I once again thought about skipping out on my own panel to go visit that one. But you are here, and I am so very thankful for that. If you're here, I'm guessing you've thought about starting a YouTube channel. You have a YouTube channel, and it's not growing as quickly as you'd hope. It's dragging in some sense. There's some tension there. And I can tell you, that was my experience. Not for a year, not for 2 years, not for 5 years, but that was my experience for about 15 years. And what I mean by that is that I put up my first movie webpage in 1998. When I was still in high school, decided to learn a little bit of HTML and put this one up. It was a Jackie Chan fan page. So there was like a picture of Jackie Chan's body, and you could click on his body parts and figure out in which movie he injured his body doing a stunt. And I had a little counter in the bottom corner, and I got it up to like 1,000 views over like a year and a half of running it. And that was 999 clicks from me and 10, I believe, from my mother. But it never went anywhere. I didn't stick with it. But the Internet Wayback Machine, you can still find my old reviews, and they're funny. I was barely literate at the time. I don't know how I graduated high school reading my movie reviews from back then. I should share them. I should make videos where I read my old reviews of some of those movies. That'd be a lot of fun. Anyway, that was back in the late 90s. Then all throughout the zeros, I had a series of blogs that I ran, websites that I was a part of, message boards where I joined in, and I didn't have any success at all. Then about 9 years ago, I first dabbled on YouTube, and I posted a review. I think it was of Arrow Season 1. Posted it, dropped the website, or didn't post anymore for 6 months. Then I posted another video, didn't post another for 6 months. And so I had all these false starts where I'd post something and I wouldn't stick with it. And I knew I liked to get my ideas out there. I liked to have fun interacting with other people over the internet about things I was passionate about, but I didn't stick with it. And that was for 15 years. Then, in the summer of 2016, a new movie came out called Ghostbusters. And it was the one starring the ladies. So half the internet was like, if you don't like this movie, it's because you're a sexist bigot. And the other half of the internet was like, if you like this movie, it's because you're an idiot. And I was like, those are two awfully extreme perspectives. Isn't it possible to have just seen a movie and been like, okay, that didn't live up to the original one, totally generic, forgettable, but it didn't ruin my childhood. I don't think anyone's an idiot for whatever they feel about this movie. So I just decided to post this review that you can see the picture of my very first review. Just set up a webcam in an extra room in my house. And in fact, my dog is behind me. I think if you watch the whole video, you can see my dog pop up from time to time behind me. Just had a little card table. And that's actually the same room that I shoot my current videos in. I just have been able to convert the room into something more interesting now. But first 9 months of my channel, I had success, but it didn't grow as fast as I'd hoped. And I almost quit about a year in. I was like, I think I'm going to throw in the towel. Like, I need to prioritize things a little bit differently. I was that close to giving up. And then I didn't. I had just the right thoughts about how to change my channel, change the ingredients, learned just the right things at just the right moment, stuck with it just a little bit longer. And about a few months after that, my channel really started to take off. And I realized, wait, this might become a career. And a year after that, in February of 2019, I put in my 2 weeks notice at my day job. And for the last 3.5 years, I have been full-time on YouTube talking about movies. And that's a particularly difficult time to go full-time on YouTube talking about movies because something happened in March of 2020 that made it so there wasn't a lot of movies to talk about. And with the information I'm going to talk about in this panel, the strategies that I used, I was able to make it through even COVID lockdowns, no movies coming out for like 9 months, and still grow an audience and kind of have a dream job. Like, I talk about movies for a living. I do something that I decided to do for free, and I get to do it full time. And hopefully I can share some of the tips, the tactics that I used to grow my channel and help some of you have some similar success. So as we go through this, I'm going to go through different phases from when you're starting, what you should focus on for that first 500 subs, all the way up to like 100,000 subs. What should you be focusing on at different phases? Phase number 1, your first 500 subs, and this is growth by addition phase. This is when you're first starting out, no one knows who you are. And no one cares either. It's kind of brutal when you put a bunch of time into a video, you post it on the internet, and then you get 3 views. One of them is you, one of them is your mother, and then some random guy that clicked on the wrong video. It's pretty depressing at first when that happens. Nobody knows who you are, and no one cares. And so in that early phase, it's growth by addition, just finding people one by one, growing your audience. But also your goal here is to meet people and get better. Because the other thing, when you start out, you're probably not very good either. It's actually kind of a good thing that people don't see your early stuff because you're not very good. You haven't figured out how to be on camera and how to talk, how to say things in an interesting way. And so at the beginning, you need to meet people and get better. So what does that look like? So first section on here, your goals are to build community. Piece number 1, what did I actually do? What was the actual thing that I did when I had under 500 subs? I went out and met other creators in my space. I went out and met other people who talk about movies. And so every day I would try and find one more person that had a new movie channel that had under 500 subs. And I would just go to one of their videos. I'd watch it. I'd leave an intelligent comment that actually cared about what they were saying. And then I'd ask a question and I'd try and be like, hey, I have a channel too if you want to check it out. Something like that. But I'd actually try to build a relationship, not sub for sub. That stuff's stupid. It doesn't do anything. I met people. Here's an example of that. It's a fellow movie YouTuber, has a horror channel. His name is Cody Leach. And he did a review of this movie called Bloodfather when his channel had like 50 subs. And so I watched the movie as well, like Mel Gibson movies, and watched this guy also liked Mel Gibson movies. So I left this comment right here, which you can't possibly read, and neither can I at the moment. But so I left this comment, and he responded back, and I responded back to him. So here we are 6 years later. I spent a week at his house a few months back. That's what I'm talking about. I actually became friends with this guy, like really great friends with him. So in February, I spent a week just hanging out with him. And then last month in Florida, did this exact same panel, working with the exact same team. He led the panel with me. And it all goes back to when I had 50 subs, when he had 50 subs, I went out and found other creators. I did one of these in Philadelphia a few months back, and I worked with a guy named Austin Burke, who also has another movie channel, and another guy that I met early on just by going out and finding other people in my space who are doing the same thing that are around the same size. If you go to someone that has 100,000 subs and you have 10 and you're like, hey, let's be best friends, there's a lot of people that are asking to be best friends with them. They get a lot of messages. But when you find someone else that has 50 subs, every viewer, every sub counts. And so try and build connections with the other people that are trying to get that momentum. Next one on here, engage with your community. In your early phases, if someone leaves a comment, respond to every single comment. Here's a pro tip on this one. Respond to every single comment with a question, because it turns a comment into a conversation. There's people that watch YouTube like it's TV, and there's people that are looking for community. Generally, people that are watching smaller channels, they want to be a part of a community. They're trying to build a connection with a person, so do that. If they leave a comment, respond with a question, a thoughtful question, and then comment back and have a long conversation with them. In your early phase, you can easily do this early on because you don't have a bazillion comments. It would be very difficult for me to do this now because I get a lot of comments on my videos. But early on, you can turn every one of these interactions into a conversation, and you communicate that you value the person that has watched your video. They cared enough to watch your video. They gave you their time, and they left a comment. The way you honor that, the way you respect that, is you respond back. And if you make it a question, it turns into a conversation which has so much more depth to it. Next one on here is join online communities. We're in the growth by addition phase, so we're trying to build, add subs wherever you can. And so that means go to Twitter. If you're a movie channel or something like that, there's a zillion people on Twitter that want to talk about movies. I'm sure every single niche out there is kind of like that you can go onto Twitter and find other people that are doing cosplay, that are doing gaming, that are doing role-playing, whatever it is. You can find those people all over Twitter, all over Facebook groups, all those places. Go where people are talking about your thing and just get involved in the community and grow the same way that you meet friends, the same way that you interact with people in real life. Do that on the internet and build your audience one by one. Because if you have one subscriber, if you add one subscriber, you've doubled your subscribers. And if I doubled my subscribers in a day, that would be the greatest day ever. Well, it's a lot easier to do that when you're starting out. Go and find people that are excited about what you're excited about. Join the conversation with them. Other thing in here, as we said before, wow, some panel over there is having a lot of fun. Maybe I need to be more exciting in here. But just hearing cheers and applause. As I said before, the other goal in this early phase is to get good. When you're starting out, like with anything else in life, you're not good at it when you start. I get people asking me every single day, hey, I just started a YouTube channel. How do I get good on camera? You look so natural on camera. How do you get good on camera? I did it a lot. I posted 2,000 videos on YouTube. You do something 2,000 times, you start to get good at it. And that was after I had about a 10-year-long career public speaking. You talk enough, eventually you get good at it. But if you're just starting out, it's like everything else. First time you ride a bike, you fall over and you hurt your leg. Second time you ride a bike, you still fall over. It takes time to get good. So in that early phase, it's the practice phase where you need to build that muscle. One of the reasons the Beatles were so great is before the Beatles became the Beatles that were world changers, they were a cover band. And they played in bars, and they do these 7-hour sets in bars. And they would play other people's songs hours and hours a day. And they got great as a band. And then they started writing their own songs. And they changed the world of pop music. When you're starting out, it's okay to be a cover band and copy the people that influence you, because there's a lot of things you need to figure out. And you just need to get the at-bats. You don't need to overthink it when you're starting. You need to practice a lot so you can get good, find your voice, and you need to go out and meet other people, whether other creators or interacting with people in your comment section. Phase number 2, your first 1,000 subscribers. Early on, at that beginning phase, don't overthink it. You can start getting 500 subscribers. You've probably stuck with this a little bit. You've got a little bit of momentum. 500 people is a lot. If you've ever had 500 people in front of you and you're speaking, that's scary. You got 500 subscribers, you've got an audience. So at that phase, it's time to start thinking about how YouTube actually works to get YouTube to start working for you. Here's what I mean by that. YouTube is an amazing platform because it's the second largest search engine in the world behind Google. And Google owns YouTube. So it's designed, its business model is to try and surface videos that people want to watch. And then when people click on it, they slap an ad in front of them. And then they click on a second video and they slap another ad in front of them. That's how YouTube works. They're trying to discover what videos people want to watch. And so, if you want to grow a YouTube channel, you need to figure out how to work with how YouTube is designed. I mean, it's literally like a learning computer. It's Skynet, except for the purpose of putting ads in front of people. It's a learning computer trying to guess what you want to watch next. That's exactly what it is. So if you design your channel around making it super easy for YouTube to guess what videos people will want to watch next, it will work for you. And at its core, YouTube wants people to click on a video and stick around till the end. That's their whole business model, getting people to click on videos, stick around till the end so they can run a bunch of ads in front of people's faces. So if you want YouTube to work for you, you need to help them accomplish this goal, which is you need to create videos that get people to click and to stick. It's kind of that simple. Now, the flip side, you say it like that, yeah, that's obvious. People need to click on your videos. Yeah, you want people to watch them. Like, right. But no, literally, it's that simple. Same with dieting, with health. People always want to know, what's the secret to losing weight? What's the secret to gaining muscle? Like, there's not really a secret to either one of those. It's exercise and proper diet. Yeah, but what's the secret? Well, it's exercise and proper diet. That's the foundation of fitness, no matter what your goal is. And anyone with a trick that just says, take these pills and you'll be good, like, no, you still have to eat right and exercise. And when it comes to YouTube, at the core of growing, you have to figure out how to get people to click. And you have to figure out how to get people to stick around, to engage with the content, to care what you're saying, and watch until the end. So we talk about the YouTube algorithm, YouTube creators do it, and it's as simple as this. YouTube algorithm equals click-through rate plus watch time. And those are two things that in YouTube, they have these analytics, they show you everything. Google is just as creepy as you imagine. They track everything that people are doing, and then they share it with creators. How much you watch, your demographic information, they share all of that with creators. And so to summarize the most important pieces to it, it's click-through rate plus watch time. So click-through rate, what does that mean? That's the percentage of people that click on the video when it's recommended. So you go to the YouTube page and there's like 15 videos there, and it's the percentage where they chose to click on your video. It's kind of that simple. But figuring out how to get people to click, that's the tricky part in here. So what does that look like? If you want someone to click, you need an enticing idea, title, and thumbnail. You have to come up with an idea, title, and thumbnail that actually gets people interested. I heard an interview with Mr. Beast. He might have just hit 100 million subscribers on YouTube. It's a lot of people. My kids right over there watch him all the time. And in that interview, he said he used to spend an hour per day coming up with ideas for videos. An hour every day. And the reason he would do it, because he's trying to come up with the perfect idea that's just weird enough, but also clear enough. Just like that perfect idea of something that's like, what if I was buried alive for 48 hours? How many magnets does it take to stop a bullet? Something that like tickles the brain a little bit. Like he did that. Like he had a video where he tried to put a bunch of magnets up and shoot a bullet to see if it would do anything. And it's the sort of thing you hear that and you go, that's so stupid. How many would it take though? It just tickles the brain a little bit. And so you have to come up with an idea that captures people's attention, or to put it another way, everything starts with a great idea. You need titles and thumbnails which stop the scroll, which get people to go, oh, what is that? What is that? Like captures their attention and then tickles the brain. What I mean by it, here's an example of kind of the negative uses of this, but we've all seen these headlines that say things like, you'll never guess which celebrity died this year. And they have a picture of Hugh Jackman. And you're like, I'm 99% sure Hugh Jackman didn't die this year. But did he? And it just tickles the brain in a way that the only way to like scratch that itch is to click on the video, to figure out, did you surprise me? Were you right? Like you just have to have the answer, or like 10 amazing facts you didn't know, and then they list your favorite thing. And you're like, I think I know everything about my favorite thing, but maybe they know something I don't know. Or it's like a challenge, like I'm gonna watch it because I wanna find out, do I know all the facts? And it tickles the brain in a way that that itch can't be scratched unless you click on the video. So you need to come up with video ideas that do that, that capture people's attention, that stop the scroll and draw people in. One of my good friends on YouTube, his name is Griffin, and his channel's called Film Speak. He has been knocking it out of the park for the last year and a half, doing these video essays. They're essentially just movie reviews, but they're 40-minute long video essays exploring an idea, and with each of them, he takes like a hardline stance, frequently hot takes. You can see in here, the third one on the PowerPoint, he's talking about Amazing Spider-Man 2, the worst one. He calls it his favorite. So you see that and you immediately go, well, that's crazy. And you look at the title, I don't know if you can see it, but it says perfect. He calls Amazing Spider-Man 2 perfect and his favorite. The worst one. The one that has way too many plot lines. That's crazy. But I wonder what his reason is. And it just tickles the brain. You have to find out what it is. And so you click on it. And he has just been cranking out these videos for a year and a half, every 2 weeks, putting out this well thought out, incredibly edited video that tickles the brain with the title and then delivers on the value. And so you have to come up with great ideas and then use the thumbnail and the title to entice people to click. Like with Film Speak, he'll send me 5 titles. And it'll be like, which ones do you think are the best? And then he'll send me 3 thumbnails. He'll say, which ones do you like the best? And we'll like pick words, like put this word on the thumbnail and put this one in the title and come up with the perfect combination that just between the two of them, you're like, that is amazing. That's the thing. That's what people click on. And he talks to people. He actually puts work, a bunch of work into coming up with the best titles and the best thumbnails. Why? Because he's trying to work with how YouTube works and how human beings, your viewers, work. The other part of the algorithm, it's click-through rate. So how do you get people to click? That's what we just talked about. Incredible ideas, incredible titles, incredible thumbnails. The other top part is watch time. And that's exactly what it sounds like. It's the amount of time people watch the video. It's the amount of time people sit there and actually watch it. Because it's not good enough that they just click. No, you don't want someone to just click. You want them to actually watch your video. And all of us, we've been on YouTube and we've clicked on videos and been like, ugh, that's garbage, and left. We've all done that. But that person still gets a click out of that. You don't want just to click, you want people to actually watch the video. I learned this lesson, well, actually, we'll get there in just a second. If you want people to stick, you need to deliver on the value promised in the title and thumbnail. So if someone posts a title, you won't believe who died this year, and has a picture of Hugh Jackman, and then you click on it, and then the first person that they show died is some 105-year-old actress that was in a movie in 1942. You're like, no, I believe that a 105-year-old woman died. That is very believable. You leave the video. You leave because it doesn't deliver on the value. They tricked you with clickbait. If you want people to stick, you need to deliver on the value. So I learned my lesson on this very early on. About 6 months into my channel, I put out a trailer reaction for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I had just done a live stream and got off, the trailer dropped, and so I just fired up another live stream, did this video right here, but I didn't know how to live stream properly, and I didn't have the right tech to be able to do a reaction video properly. So if you can't tell exactly what's going on here, instead of doing a reaction the way normal people do them, where you play the trailer properly and watch it properly on something, I grabbed my wife's phone and my own phone, and I put one towards the screen and one towards my face, and I clicked play like that in a live stream. Literally, I'm holding up a phone as part of my reaction and watching on another phone. Other thing you might notice in the bottom left, my son has joined in, and he's just in the room. He's just going for it, picking his nose while I'm doing this reaction video. Like I'm doing this clueless and he's grinding up in his nose, picking his nose. Third problem with this one, I didn't know how to do live streams at the time. So the audio is going the whole video. But because I did it as a live stream and dropped it first, YouTube promoted it for about 30 minutes to everyone that was searching for a trailer reaction for this trailer. So in my first year, this was my most viewed video. I got people to click. It was the right video at the right time. It was first, so I got a lot of clicks. One thing that creepy Google shares with you is your audience retention. It is a chart that shows you exactly when people watched your video. So you can learn exactly when people leave. This is what you don't want them to look like. If you can't tell, it looks like it starts at the top of a roller coaster and then immediately shoots straight down. Like within 10 seconds, everybody's left the video, and by the end of it, you can literally see like 1% of people that clicked on the video made it to the end. Everyone else was smart enough to be like, this guy needs to get off YouTube. He's got his kid picking his nose, who is crackling audio, and he's clueless. He's literally holding up a phone to the camera. So my video that got the most people to click in my first year was also my worst video. So was getting views a good thing? No. I think it was 16,000 people saw me make a fool of myself. See, you have to deliver on the value. It's one thing to learn how to get people to click, but you also have to make a great video. And that's why it takes a long time. It takes a lot of practice and a lot of making a fool of yourself in front of a lot of people. But eventually, you do get better. And you start to figure out how YouTube works and how this whole process works. So moving right along, eventually I did get up to 10,000 subs. So this is where we start getting to growth by multiplication. Actually, there's two kind of steps of growth by multiplication. So when the algorithm starts to work for you a little bit, you get a little bit of it. And then you do it a second time, you really start to optimize, and it starts doing that even more. And so your goal, trying to get to 10,000 subs, is to discover your niche and where you can deliver unique value, where you specifically have something to offer. Far too many creators feel entitled to other people's time. What I mean by that is too many people are like, why don't my subscribers click on my videos? Why don't more people watch my videos? The assumption being people owe you their time. Because that's what a click is. Someone giving you their time. You're asking for their time. And if you're going to take someone's time, you better deliver value. And so, if you really want to start taking off, you have to discover your sweet spot where you can deliver unique value. So principle number one, you have to find your focus, the thing that you're distinctly good at. No one wants your junk drawer. Some people have these YouTube channels where they just post everything. Like, all right, here's a school project, here's a movie review, a gaming video, here's my buddies doing prank videos, and it's just a junk drawer of stuff. And so someone goes to that channel, they find one video they like, oh, that was cool. And they look at everything else and they're like, what is this stuff? Like, what is this? Now, people subscribe to channels because you deliver consistent value. That's why it's important to find your niche, a specific thing that you do. For me, what I discovered about a year in is if I posted a movie review, I'd get like 100 views. 100 people, that's a good chunk of people. But I noticed if I posted a ranking of a franchise, I got 500 views. And I went, okay, 100, 500. I'm not great at math, but I do know that 500 is quite a bit more than 100. And I went, what if every week I did a ranking of whatever the new big franchise that comes out is? So it was like Pirates of the Caribbean 5, it was Alien Covenant came out, and there was a Transformers movie, of course there was a Marvel movie. I was like, every week, that's what I'll do. And as soon as I started doing that, I started getting this growth by multiplication. My growth rate doubled as soon as I did that, because I delivered unique value. I had a specific spot where I was delivering unique value. It was something specific that I seemed to be good at. And you think, with everything else, we kind of get that. Like, if you go to a gas station, you probably want to get gas, unless it's Buc-ee's, in which case they've got everything. So you might even be buying a smoker while you're there, because Buc-ee's is basically a Walmart, except cleaner, nicer, and has better products. But normally you go to a gas station because you want to get gas. You go to a bookstore because you want books. What is your thing when it comes to your YouTube channel? Where do you stand out? What makes you unique? That's the other side to that next principle on here. You have to offer unique value. If you make the same videos as everyone else, you compete against everyone else. So like I said, I'm a movie channel, and if you just do straight talking head movie reviews, you will never grow, because there's a zillion of those. There's too much competition. There's too many people doing that exact thing, so you can't stand out. And I'm sure that's true. Whatever niche you're doing, kind of like with gaming, there's an enormous number of people that can take off with gaming videos, but if you're just doing the exact same like live streams as everyone else, you compete against everyone else, and others started way before you. So where are you offering unique value to earn that click? You have to figure out that sweet spot. Continuing on something I said before, the Beatles started as a cover band, but cover bands don't change the world. Eventually, the Beatles started writing their own songs. That's when they changed the world. When you're starting out, it's fine if you want to copy your favorite YouTuber. That's fine, because you have to just learn how to do it. You don't start playing guitar and write your own songs. You start and play other people's songs. But when it's time to grow, you have to find your unique spot where you stand out and can offer value that no one else can offer. That's what you're trying to discover, is that sweet spot. People subscribe when you offer consistent value. If you've spent any time on YouTube, you have found some video that you absolutely loved. And then you went to their channel page and started browsing, like, what other videos, what else have they done? And you can't find another video like the one that you just clicked on. And you forget that channel existed. They did one thing you loved. You couldn't find anything else like it. So you didn't subscribe and you never went back. So what you want to do is consistently offer value in a niche. So going back to my rankings that I talked about before, that was in May of 2017. It was the same month where I was debating quitting YouTube, where I had the thought of, I think I'll start doing a ranking every week. It's like those thoughts happened right at the same time. Maybe I should quit. And also, what if I ranked the franchises? It was a great thought to have at that exact moment, because it stopped me from quitting. So it worked out well for me. But so I did that every week. I did one ranking. And then a couple months in, I went, that's really working. What if I did 2 rankings? I'll do an old franchise that I love, plus I'll do whatever new thing comes out, 2 rankings every week. And I did that for about 6 months. And then Thor Ragnarok came out, the Marvel movie. And I ranked the Marvel movies, and I had this change of thought, like, what if I, instead of making it podcast style like I'd done with some of my previous videos, what if I did it really quick? I did it in 10 minutes, because I would never watch a 40-minute video. I'm too busy. I got a bunch of kids. What if I did it in 10 minutes and make a video that I would watch, which is a pretty simple standard of like, would you watch your own videos? If the answer is no, maybe you should change what you're doing. So I had that thought, put this video out, and this video crazy took off and did exponentially more views than any video I'd ever done before. I tried to make it better than any of my previous videos, and it paid off. And it ended up getting like 300,000 views, something like that. That was like, at the whoa, that's a lot of people watched one of my videos, and I had a couple of mistakes in it, so it was super embarrassing, because it was like 300,000 people saw me make some mistakes. But for the most part, it was a good quality video, and people were like, I like this guy's stuff. And they went, I wonder if he's done any other rankings. Well, I had every single week for 6 months. And so then they went, what else has he got? Oh, he's already talked about the Indiana Jones movies. Oh, he's already talked about the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Oh, he's already talked about this. And so all these people, 300,000 people saw me for the first time. And if they liked the video, let's say only 5% liked the video. Hopefully it was more than that. Let's say it was only 5%. That's 15,000 people looking for another video. Well, that'll change the trajectory of your channel a little bit. And so all of a sudden, my channel had a great month. And then a few months after that, I changed it up even a little bit better and added a couple more tweaks into what I was doing and had even more success. To give you a little idea how YouTube works, when you have post a video, you think that it sends it out to all of your subscribers, but it doesn't. When you post a video on YouTube, it sends it out to people who very recently clicked on one of your videos. So you got a video and you post it, and like I have over 200,000 subscribers. 200,000 people don't see every video I post. It's only the people that recently watched something. And if they click on it, then YouTube goes, oh, this one works. Let's send it out to more people. So not just people that watched very recently, but people that watched kind of recently. And if those people also click, then it goes out to new people that they think will click. And if people that they guess will click, then they go, wait a minute, people really like this video, then it goes out to even more people. So here's why this is important. If you have a niche where you're delivering value, the first people that see it, if they click on it, it goes out to more people and more people and more people. But if you post out one awesome video that a ton of people like, and then your next video is prank videos with your friends, all these people that were like, that video was awesome, they see the next one and they go, what's this? And they don't click on it. So then the third video doesn't go out to as many people. So that's why you find that niche where you can offer value. And we'll get back to this idea of how do you use this to build momentum in just a little bit. But you just have to think like the importance of consistently delivering value in a niche. That's how you gain momentum. And where this played out amazing for me is a few months after Thor Ragnarok came out was Black Panther. And somebody recommended, hey, why don't you not just rank the movies, but rank the villains as well? So the movie came out and I had a review and spoiler review. And then I posted this ranking of the villains. And I was like, oh, I'm ranking the villains. Why don't I also rank the heroes too? Okay, let's do that. Okay, rank the heroes. So I posted those 2 days apart. And obviously that movie was a massive hit that really resonated with people. When people connect with something, they flock to the internet to see what people are saying about it. So I did these two rankings. To this day, those are the two most viewed videos on my channel. And they were posted right after each other. So posted one of them, a ton of people watched it, and circle went wide, post the second video, and it recommends the second video to all those people, and so it took off. And so you can see the momentum building, where posting consistently in a niche gains momentum if you're consistently offering value. A few other things on here real quick to talk about is you want to do things that no one else will do. If you do the same thing everyone else does, you compete against everyone else. If you're willing to do more than everyone else, then you can have, like, if you do what other people won't do, you put yourself in a different category. A couple of examples of this. Last summer, we got a new Space Jam movie, jam-packed with 1 zillion cameos. So when the first trailer dropped, and you watch it, and it's got like every Warner Brothers property shows up in this deal. So me and my family watch it. And we went, did you see that? Did you see Batman? Did you see? And we start listing off of these people, and then recommended right underneath it is this video from a guy named 3C Films, where he broke down the whole deal, missed 101 Easter eggs. Why did they want to watch me? Like, hey, what? Click on that video. So we clicked on that video, and he just went through the trailer in 4K and went through every character on there and went, okay, who's this? Who is this rabbit? Okay, let me look up through the whole Hanna-Barbera lexicon to discover who's this rabbit. All right, who's this guy? Which is this dragon from Game of Thrones? And who's this person from Harry Potter? He went through every single frame in this trailer to discover every single cameo. So every family like mine that watched the trailer went, that was cool. He did the work for us to tell us everything and everyone that was in there, which I greatly appreciated. He did something I wasn't willing to do. Also, like with TV shows, when people watch them, they rush to the internet to see what other people thought about them. And here in Texas, these Marvel Disney Plus shows and Star Wars Disney Plus shows, they drop at 2 a.m. here. So I'm certainly not going to wait up till 2 a.m. to watch them and then shoot a video afterwards. I'm too old and have too many kids to have the energy to do that. Some of my YouTube friends, though, that's what they do. They stay up till like 4 a.m. watching the new episodes so that they're the first to post a video. And because of that, all the people that watched right as they drop, they're the only person with the video there. They're the first. Therefore, everyone clicks on their video. So if you're willing to do what no one else will do, you stand out in this category. So I don't know if I say this on there, but that video from 3C Films has, at the time I did this PowerPoint presentation, was 2.1 million views. And I did this presentation a while ago. It's probably a lot higher than that now. 2 million views. Why? Because he did offered value that others weren't willing to offer. He did work others weren't willing to do. If you stay up later, you get more results. I've reviewed some of these same Disney Plus shows as some of my YouTube friends whose channels are much smaller than mine, but because they stayed up till 4 a.m, their videos did way better than mine because they were there first. They were willing to do something I wasn't willing to do. Final piece on here as we start to close out. How do you get into exponential growth where you just start dramatically changing the trajectory of your life? And it's how do you create binge opportunities? How do you get people to go down the rabbit hole and not just watch one of your videos, but make it super easy to keep watching your videos, one after the other, after the other, after the other. So first idea, how do you do this? You have to know your tentpole events. Whatever your niche is, when it comes to if you're a cosplay channel, costume channel, probably Halloween season, a lot of people looking at how to dress up in costumes, Comic-Con seasons. I guess now Comic-Cons happen year round, so that's but lining up with some of the bigger ones, just know your tentpoles, movies. Whatever big movies are in your niche, for me, talk about superhero movies and Star Wars movies. So when a Marvel movie drops, that is a tentpole event for me. If you have a sports channel, the Super Bowl, the World Series, whatever the big events are, whenever people are excited about something, they flock to the internet to learn more about it and find what other people are saying about it. And you can ride that wave of momentum. You can hop on that and join in what other people are already doing. And that's what you want to do. So that's why it's so important to find those tentpole events, because you don't have to generate the momentum. The event does it for you. So those are the big, exciting events in your niche that generate momentum. And what you want to do is think in series. Going back to what I talked about when Black Panther came out, I didn't put out one video. I put out 4 or 5 videos in the span of a week. So if you liked one of my videos on that subject, I got 4 more like it. So when that tentpole event happens, don't drop one video. Drop a series of videos. So like for me, when a big tentpole event movie happens, I'll do trailer reactions, I'll do prediction videos, I'll do a regular review, I'll do a spoiler review, then I'll do some ranking tied to it. And in every single one of those videos, I promote the other videos. Hey, the movie's about to come out. I'm going to have a review. I'm going to have a spoiler review, and I'm going to have some rankings. And then when I'm in the review, I'm like, hey, come back in a couple days. I'm going to do some rankings. In the rankings, I say, hey, if you like this one, I got another ranking coming out tomorrow, and I did a ranking yesterday. Every video promotes every other video to create this cycle of excitement that makes it super easy for people to watch not just one video, but multiple videos. Here's a pro tip on this one. Every time you post a video, know what video you want people to watch next. So it's not just one video. You know exactly what you're sending to people that like this video. What are they likely to want to watch next? And to kind of close out, here's how this plays out. Been creating videos for a while, and you've finally gotten really good, and you've got a niche. You got a place where you stand out. And a tentpole event happens, and you create a series of videos. And you get people to not just click, but get to stick around. And you've studied your audience retention. So in the video, you figured out where people start to leave. And so you put a call to action and they were saying, hey, if you like this video, you'll also like this second video. And this video takes off a little bit. And all these people don't just watch one video, they watch 2 videos. And if you've been on YouTube any amount of time, you've had a point in time where you clicked on a video, that was cool, and you watched a second video. And then YouTube started recommending that channel to you for a month. They chased you around everywhere you went. They're showing up being recommended to you. Well, you've offered value. You got people to click and you got them to click a second time. When that happens, YouTube uses their crazy, creepy computers to study your channel's archive of content and their viewing history, and it overlaps the two, and it starts trying to guess exactly which of your videos they'll want to watch. And you start chasing them all around YouTube, wherever they go, for a couple of weeks. When that happens, it starts to change the trajectory of your life. Why this is a big deal to me, when I started my YouTube channel, I was unemployed and I was in rehab. Like I was in an intensive outpatient rehab program and rebuilding my family because things were in such a rough spot. And YouTube for me was, got worked up there, punched the mic. YouTube for me was part of my recovery process of becoming healthy and rebuilding, reforming my life in a way that was sustainable. And through luck, through some best practices, through working really hard, I've been able to build a life where this is like a fun family trip for us, but I'm also getting to meet some wonderful people. I get to do something I would do for free, but I get paid to do it for a living. And I have freedom in my life. Like a year ago, I had a family member that was in the hospital with COVID. And my wife was able to go up and just help their family because I could just take off work for a week and watch the kids. All of it comes back to everything that I've talked in here changed the trajectory of my life. So hopefully, whether it just helps you with your hobby, or maybe for some of you, it leads to you having a full-time career. I hope something in here was helpful for you. Thank you so much for coming out. I greatly appreciate it. If you want to do I'm going to do a meet and greet afterwards here in the room, as well as in the hallway once we get kicked out. Thank you so much for coming. Actually, real quick, if you want to sit there, I'm going to run down and take a selfie with the whole room.